any democracy.
Let me ask you another question, and it involves the vaccines. You know, for people out there that are listening, do you think they should listen to their personal physician and their personal doctors that know their medical history when it comes to, say, the COVID vaccine, or should they listen to people like you?
Well, I think, first of all, I wish the doctors had the power to actually give advice. And, I think people should talk to their physicians and that they should be able to do what their physicians want. The physicians should not be punished or silenced or delicensed for giving them advice that the physician considers important for their health. And the physician's duty is to that patient, not to society as a whole. Oh, during COVID, we saw this, these mass efforts to deplatform physicians who were saying you shouldn't, maybe there was a patient who had seizures in the last vaccine or who had heart problems. Physicians should feel comfortable giving good advice to that patient. And that, unfortunately, those rights, those traditional rights of physicians were abandoned during COVID. But, I don't give people personal advice about whether to take a vaccine or not. If people want a vaccine, they should be able to get it.
Mm-hmm.
What I've said is we should have informed choice, which means there are people who are injured by every vaccine.
Sure.
They're unavoidably unsafe, according to the Supreme Court. And that we should do everything we can to make sure to protect the people who are getting injured, whether it's a rare group or if it's a large group. We should have good science. Everybody should be informed about the benefits and the costs, and people should be able to make up their own mind, and it shouldn't be mandated by government. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
Right now, CDC is recommending that every American get a 9th COVID vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
There's over 90% of the population is refusing it. Should CDC have the power to come in and tell you, Brian, you can't go to work, you can't have a job, you can't travel, you can't enter a building?
I'll answer that.
If you don't comply with what we tell you to do.
I'll answer that. First of all, I've never thought that the vaccine should have been mandated, so we probably agree on that. But here's something else I'll say that you might disagree with. I believe we should be getting our information from medical professionals and not somebody like Rand Paul, who's an eye doctor. Actual infectious disease experts and people that know our medical history and can make a decision with us. I'm not saying anybody should be forced to take it. That's all I'm saying. And I hear a lot of people, particularly those that are on the far right, that have zero medical experience with large platforms that are calling the vaccines poison. And I